All right, welcome race fans, dirt fans around the world. We're here, Knoxville, man. Tonight we got some late model action going on for you. Well, this is a preseason style race for next week. We're kicking it off VLR Accelerated Series presented by those boys over there. The late model series here, one of the big three series that they've got. And up on the screen, you see all the title sponsors, and they are a slew of them on there. But as always, hey, I'm Joe White up here in the booth, and I got old Brett Wheeler up here with me. Brett, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good. It's good to be back here alongside you. I think it's twice in 3 weeks, so okay, it's good to be back and super late models around the Knoxville Raceway. Essentially, it's the sprint car capital of the world. Man, I tell you what, these super late models, they really can put on a show around Knoxville.
Man, no doubt about it. And I tell you, man, gotta love Knoxville here. We got some good weather, 68 degrees outside, 79 degrees in a track temp. I don't really know. Now, maybe you can educate me a little bit out here, Brett. You're a dirt expert legend out here. I've seen you run a lot. Does really the track temp matter a lot on dirt as opposed to like asphalt?
Yes, yeah, it does a little bit. I generally don't have too much knowledge when it comes to track temps, but yeah, I do believe it does. Obviously, you know, the cooler it is, the more heat that you'll get into the motor, and obviously, essentially, you'll go a little bit faster. So, you'll see it mostly cloudy. Quite a few clouds in the sky I can see, but look, we should be good for racing tonight. And with the track starting to slicking off here in practice, I'm assuming it's going to be quite a good race tonight.
And no doubt about it, we got a lot of with the preseason coming up here. And hey, I want to appreciate these guys over here at Team VLR, and most importantly over there at the Accelerated, and that's where we're at. We're going to be at next week. These guys putting this thing on. I want to appreciate them for letting myself here at Online Sim Racing Network bring this coverage to you for one of their, from my understanding, one of the big three series. This is a late model series, and we did one a couple weeks ago, Brett, for the Midnight Madness. And I'm going to tell you what, it was some madness to see them guys out there run these cars.
Yeah, look, there's quite a few guys that certainly know how to get around in a lot of the cars. But I'll tell you what, the super late models as a broadcaster, probably one of the best best cars that you'll come to see and certainly put on a show. I think the midgets are probably number one, very closely followed by the modifieds. Then I think the late models. And I'll tell you what, I'm a sprint car guy through and through, but man, I just tell you what, these fender guys, they know how to put on a show. Obviously, you can get a bit more rubbing along with the fenders rather than in a sprint car and a midget. You rub wheels in an open wheel car, and it's never going to end well.
No doubt about it. And I tell you right now, these guys, man, are going to put on an awesome. Just to name a few that I know of. And I'm going to get familiar with a lot of these guys out here. Let's see throughout the field. I mean, we've got right now 33 gentlemen out here. And the biggest thing here tonight, we've got practice qualifying. And the first for me, this is actually the first time for me on the broadcast side of things here, Brett. We got heat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 out here. And then we got a D main, C main, and a B main before we go to the feature here tonight.
Yeah, I think you'll find we may skip a couple of heat races just because of the fact that this server, got a 60 car limit. Obviously, if we fill up the server with 60 cars, they're beautiful. We're set for a good night of racing. But I think with what you said, I think 30. Would you say 31, 32 drivers?
Right now, 30. Well, right now it's showing 34 in here.
34, right? So looking at that, if we, you're probably going to look at about 4, maybe 5 heats at the most. You'll probably see you'll see a B main for sure. I definitely won't see a D. We may cut into a C, but I'll tell you what, even then, even if you get into a C main, if you're in the C main tonight, yes, it's only a preseason race. The final preseason before the big 3 series starts. I mean, that's a tough night at the office.
Yeah, no doubt here. And I tell you right now, we're in the middle of practice. We've got about 17 minutes worth of practice here. These guys just getting kind of geared up. Looks like he might have advanced it on us here to the next session. So now 17 minutes, a couple seconds, and we're going on here to actually qualifying for the first qualifying here for, again, you got to help me out here, Brett. New to the heat qualifying type of stuff. So I'm going to say that we're going for qualifying to set up heat number 1.
So what they'll do, obviously, each driver will get 2 laps around the Knoxville Raceway They set their fastest times. Now, out of the 30 odd drivers, if we have, say, 4 heats, you'll see the fastest qualifier in heat number 1 start out of position number 4. If you're second quick, you'll start out of position number 4 in heat 2. If you're third quick, you'll start out of position 4 in heat 3. If you're fourth quick, you'll start out of position 4 in heat 4. And then obviously, they go back. If you're fifth quick, if there's only 4 heats, you'll start, out of position 3. So realistically, if it's a 4-car inversion with 4 heats, you'll see these top 16 inverted. So just looking at the times, at the moment, it's going to be Greg Thompson sitting at the top of the speed charts with an 18.545. Kyle Raczynski, and he's third quick now as Garrett Nieberge goes with an 18.429. So already that number 19 driver in the final practice hit out for the season, the preseason, I should say, he's got that number 19 working.
Yeah, no doubt. Garrett up on the top point right now. And like I said, Greg Thompson right there sitting in second. Corey right there in third. And Kyle sitting in fourth. I'm going to say that's Britton Roxbury right there around the top 5. So I'm going to get used to how the heat cycles work here and how the qualifying wraps up. And that's just, folks, hey, look, bear with me. Dirt, kind of a new area. I'm an asphalt style guy, but I tell you what, I'm going to do my homework on this stuff and get all this wrote down and definitely get there. And hey, it's always good to have a guy like Brett up here in the booth with me again. I call him a dirt legend out here, the wheeler, the man down under.
We could always go to the mouth from down south today. I'm going to teach you a lesson in dirt racing. And also, I'm going to teach you a saying. You might have heard it that we got around here in the dirt world. It's asphalt's for getting to the racetrack. Dirt is for racing. Jacob Fields in the 007. Quick time with an 18.123. Howard Weaver in that 07. 18.154. Drew Hirschko, 18.296. And Garrett Nibbery with an 18.326. So we see those 4 drivers will start out of position number 4 in their respective heat races, just depending on if we have 5 or 4 heat races tonight. But yeah, asphalt's for getting to the racetrack, dirt is for racing.
I hear you, no doubt about it. Well, Howard Weaver, we know that name awful well, and he's definitely got a fan club out here. Might as well say one of the Mr. Popularities when it comes to it. A couple of the other guys. Some of these guys' names out here I haven't seen before. Obviously, I know who you are, Brett. I've seen you racing, man. You could definitely throw some dirt up in some of these guys' faces, too, when you get out here on the track.
I'm kind of hit and miss, but looking at the racetrack at the moment, for all the Hylemaniacs out there, David Heileman is sitting 12th quick as he completes his second lap, 18.374. Goes to position at number 8, Daniel Dow, just completing his lap times as well. He's going to be sitting 20th quick. Drew Hirschko is still running around on the racetrack along with Dylan Wilson, 18.368. So guys, just getting a bit of extra track time in qualifying if they have a little bit more fuel in. But one of the final cars on the racetrack in the number 97 is Mark Mulmer, one of the VLR guys here. He will get the white flag on his lap or qualifying in position number 9, 18.394. And it's going to pretty much sitting into the top 10, so he's going to could be potentially off the front row here. It's only still got one more lap to complete as he comes off turn number 4, and it's going to be an 18.358. Jumps one more position. So Mark Mulmer in the 97, and I believe they're just waiting on Mike Mulmer, his brother, to go out there and turn a couple of laps, which he's on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, it is right now. Looks like we got 2 minutes, and Kendall Tucker right there on the bump line, sitting on the top 10. We've seen him race several times. You talk about David Heileman, the Heilemaniacs out there. We know he's got a fan club here as he's sitting right there in the 9th place. We're talking about a Mark. He moved it up into 8. Jacob still holding on to the top spot as it looks like the qualifying is over with for the first set of qualifying here to set the field for heat number 1. Actually set the field for all the heats from my understanding here. Well, let's get set and definitely set these boys up and get us some racing going on here for the first 11 laps here at Knoxville. Brett, I tell you what, it's going to be a good one here as these guys right now. As let's see if we can get the grid order here. It's your VLR starting grid for the first heat of the night. I just want to say it. I'm showing Jacobs Field sitting on the top. Howard Weaver right there in second. Dalen Wilson, sitting third. Zach Rounds in fourth. Fifth place is Drew Urco. And Garrett, what's that last name again?
Never did, but I tell you, that'll be going off qualifying. That I'm pretty sure the ATVO doesn't actually pick it up with the iracing system.
Yeah.
Just yet. Look, I found out that mistake. But hey, I tell you what, I'm going to take a line. I'm going to take a line off the Knoxville track announcer, Tony Bockhoven. This is going to be a gym dandy. Jason George, your front on starting on pole, alongside David Heileman, Drew Hirchko, and Jacob Fields, row 2, Stephen Spees, Daniel Dow, row 3, Chris Orencia, Ryan Martin, row 4, Josh Ray, and Devin Borden out of position at number 10. And, well, it's 10 laps around the Knoxville Raceway, essentially a 5-mile race, and it will go very, very quick here. Keep an eye on that 007 of Jacob Fields, who was tonight's quick time man as they come past the Doug Clark flag stand, and they'll get the green next time by at turn number 4.
No doubt, and this pace truck will take a head off on into pit roads as we watch Jacobs Fields up front here. And we've got 10 and some bad fast boys out here, about to kick up some dirt here at Knoxville. Do a little sideways action. It's a late model series as that pace truck's just pacing around, and these guys are getting a little antsy back here. They're getting ready to put that pedal down to the floor and put these things sideways here at Knoxville.
Heat number 1. The final preseason hit out for the super late models. The Knoxville Raceway holds. We get set to go green off turn number 4, and we are racing. And Jason George gets a good start. We run down into turn number 1 and 2. Hirchko in that 26 on the inside of David Heileman. They go side by side down the back straight away. Heileman now got pressure here from Jacob Fields, and also Stephen Speeds in that 55. Keep an eye on the battle for 4th and 5th right now.
No doubt, as they're side by side right now. You're talking about a man up front, Jason George. He's got a handle on the field as he's out front. David Heileman right there in the second spot. Drew's trying to hang on to it. They're single file right now, but that won't stay for long here in the first heat here tonight, as we got 9 to go here so far. As they're two by two coming into the turn.
Yeah, Fields and Heileman side by side in turn number 1 and 2. They go past the Brian Clausen Sweet Tower. It's going to be Jacob Fields taking over third. When here comes a battle for the race lead. The 26 of Drew Hirchko just climbs that inside berm. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to lose one spot to Jacob Fields, and David Heileman throws a slide job on him. They make contact. Here comes Stephen Spees on the middle. He's looking to take over 4th, and he will, but also Daniel Down, the 23, throwing his name in the mix. Wow, the 007 of Jacob Fields now challenging for the race lead. 4 down, 6 to run.
Man, I tell you what, they got 3 wide there for a minute, Brett, as they was just screaming. You said a battle for the lead. You're right. Jacobs is looking on the inside. He can't quite get it done yet. Has to fall back in line behind him. But, boy, these guys right now have definitely got patience, and they're trying. They understand the importance of trying to get up there and win this one. And Jacobs Fields, well, he was the class of the field tonight, and he is trying to get that top spot up underneath Jason.
He had to be very patient in the opening couple of laps, and now he's got himself into second. It's going to be George who makes a mistake into turn number 3 and 4. The battle is on well and truly for the race lead. George has got him by about half a car length going into 1 and 2. Fields closing in on that number 33. Just gets out of the gas a little bit to not turn that 33. And it's still Jason George, your race leader, and the track is fresh. And now here comes David Heileman for those millions and millions of Heilemaniacs.
No doubt that he is trying to bring it to the front. We also got a battle. Drew back here has got his hands full with Daniel Doe in the backside. The battle's still up front, though, as Jason George has got a handle on it. But watch out for that 31. The Heilemaniacs are going crazy as he is trying to bring it up to the mix here and get it to the front.
Yeah, now, important to note, with 1.5 to go, the top 3 will advance into tonight's main event, and that's where David Heileman sits right now. Right on the back bumper of Jacob Fields. He needs to be patient right now. Stephen Spees, he's 1 spot out of a transfer. The white flag is out. Doug Clark signals that 1 to go, and Jason George, half a mile to go.
Yeah, they come around here. They're almost there, nose to tail touching each other as they go side by side. White flag going to be this time by. Looks like the man out front, Jason George, is going to take this first one here along with Jacob Fields, and David Heileman is going to be right there in the 3rd place spot.
Yeah, those 3 drivers will transfer into tonight's main event. The rest of the drivers are going to transfer Into the B's and C's, Stephen Spees, Drew Hershko, Daniel Dow, 6, Josh Ray, Ryan Martin, Chris Sorencia, and Devin Borden. All 10 cars finishing in heat race number 1. So we get set. No rest for the Wicked as we get set for heat race number 2. And with the track being clean after qualifying, the track getting a service, so it's a fresh track as we get set for heat race number 2.
And the drivers out there, like I said, I won't be able to do a complete rundown of them, but the drivers in this heat here, just to name a few, we got Mike Moeller sitting out there. We also got Corey, and we got Kendall Tucker, Garrett, I call it Norberger. I'm going to have to get that name. Norbergy. Gotcha. Appreciate it, Brett. Howard Weaver's in this one. Justin Norwood. We got Brandon Little and Joshua Nedler. I believe that's how you say that last name.
Neltner.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, no disrespect to him, but I haven't actually called a race with him in it.
That's there you go. First time for me on it here. But I tell you what, these guys are gridding it up here. The pace truck's got the about to take them off pit road as we're on heat race number 2. Kind of liking this format here. Kind of cool to see these guys go through the heats again. It's kind of my first time ever doing a broadcast with one of these, Brett. And it goes back action-packed, exciting from the green flag all the way to the checkered.
Oh yeah, and it's actually, it's a good format. I've done multiple broadcasts with the heat racing format. It's very fast, effective. It gets the job done. I tell you what, the racing is spectacular. But we'll go through the starting grid. Heat race number 2. Corey Zatinsky in car number 3 starts on the pole to his outside of the 25. It's going to be Kendall Tucker. At a position number 3, it's going to be the 19 of Garrett Nieberge into his outside, the fan favourite of Howard Weaver. At a position 5, it's going to be the number 4 of Justin Norwood to the outside, the 56 of Mike Molnar. Brandon Little starts out of position number 7 in car number 9, Joshua Neltner in car number 11 out of position number 8. And riding shotgun at the back in car number 62, it's going to be Zach Jenkins. 9 cars in heat race number 2, another top 3 straight to the main event. The rest of the guys go into the B and C main. 10 on the board, Joe. I'll let you take us back to the green flag.
Yeah, as the pace truck's got the lights off, we're getting set here to go. Green flag racing here at Knoxville, dirt style here. Pace truck comes around, and a man out front right there, the number 3 machine, Corey. He's putting a hammer down as he takes off. Green flag, boy, contact at the front. They almost get side by side. They did. That took the 3 machine as he has to go high. That puts the 07 up front of Howard Weaver. He benefits from that as he takes it to the front.
Yeah, but not without bringing Garrett Nieberge with him right now. The 3 of Zatinsky around the outside of Kendall Tucker. That's your battle for the final transfer spot straight into tonight's main event. Tucker on the low side. He gets that inside berm, throws a slider. Zatinsky now going to cross back underneath. They almost run doors coming up the turn number 2. But it's going to be Kendall Tucker taking back that position at number 3 of the racetrack. Meanwhile, battle for the race lead. Nieberge on the inside of Weaver into turn number 1 and 2.
We got a battle for the lead, a battle for second, third right there. Third and fourth, as Kendall Tucker, he hit the inside of that bump and upset that car. But up front, Howard Weaver's hanging on to the top spot. Garrett's right there on his back door trying to do everything he can for the slide job here at Knoxville. They're spread out pretty good, but it's still a awesome battle up front for the lead.
And Nieberge was running 2 lanes lower than what Weaver was, but now he's actually moved up to run the same line. Now he runs a car length lower than what Weaver is. Weaver kind of stuck up top there, and he loses a little bit of ground coming off turn number 4 as he rides through the middle and just getting a little bit loose into turn number 1 and 2. Nieberge so close to the left rear fender of Howard Weaver. They rocket down the back straight away into 3 and 4. Nieberge to the inside of Weaver. Side by side, give it to Weaver coming off turn number 4 by a car length.
Man, I tell you what, he's hanging on to that top spot. The problem is he's got his hands full with that Garrett right there on the inside. Don't hang on. Don't look in your rear view mirror because here comes the 25. Kendall Tucker's bringing it in the mix. They're 3 wide coming into the turn. Can they handle it right there? Almost touched, but just hold on to it. Howard's loving what he sees in his rear view right now. If those guys can get together and battle a little bit.
And Nieberge in second. He's got his hands full with Kendall Tucker in behind him, but he's also trying to get underneath your race leader, Howard Weaver. You'll find that these guys, obviously with the respect, and they know how to drive these race cars, you'll find that they won't touch at all here in this race. Yes, they'll get close, but I tell you what, the 07 of Howard Weaver leads down the back straight away with 2.5 remain here at the Knoxville Raceway. Heat number 2, the final hit out the preseason for the accelerated super late models.
Yes, it is. Super late models. Oh, in contact in the wall. Kendall Tucker, he hits it on the outside right there. Just drove it up there just a little bit too much. But you're talking about professionals here. These guys are some of the best when it comes to dirt racing and iracing.com out here, like you said, in the late models. Howard Weaver is leading this one. You got Garrett right there behind him, but Kendall Tucker's trying to get that inside groove going.
Yeah, as we got half a lap remain, Weaver leads down the back straight away. Niebregi, Tucker, side by side into 3 and 4. Weaver will pick up the win. Who will grab second? It's going to be Niebregi and Tucker side by side to the flag stand. It's going to go to Garen Niebregi by .013. Not a lot in it, and those 3 drivers advance to the main event. Corey Zatinsky, Brandon Little, Joshua Neltner, Justin Norwood, Mike Molnar, and Zach Jenkins. And once again, we've had all 19 drivers so far in the opening 2 heat races finish under the green flag conditions, and not one of them has been in the pits.
Man, and I tell you what, that was an awesome battle right there between those guys. They came around the last turn, and they were lighting it up here on the dirt side of things. And it was an awesome run as we're heading off into heat number 3 here, folks. We got a couple more to go, and then we're going to set us off into a D and a C and a B main before we get off to our A main, our feature tonight, which is going to be pretty good. So as they get these guys gridded up here right now. Well, I tell you what, Brett, man, it's been some action-packed, awesome racing so far tonight.
Yeah, and there's barely time to catch a breath in between heat races, let me tell you that. But tell you what, another stacked heat here tonight in heat number 3. It's going to be the 00 of Kyle Raczynski in pole position to his outside. It's going to be the 32 of Shane James. Jordan Wesley in car number 22 starts on the inside of row number 2. To his outside, it's going to be the 80 of Dylan Wilson. At a position 5, it's going to be the 421 of Britton Roxbury. And in car number 57 is Lee Fetchenheimer out of position number 6. I apologise if I did get that name wrong, Lee. John Littoral starts out of position number 7. Matthew Jordan out of position number 8. And Greg Perkins in the 34 finishes our 9-car field here in heat race number 3, the second last heat. So the penultimate heat of the preseason. Once again, another 3 drivers, and it's anyone's ball game in this one. I tell you, there's probably about 4 or 5 drivers that could win this race here tonight.
And I'll tell you what, this is a preseason race here. Folks, what you're seeing tonight is what the action you're going to see next week here, and for the next 12 weeks is going to be here at Accelerated on their Facebook page here, part of the Team VLR Big 3 Series for the late models as we get set to go here dirt track racing tonight.
Race car will take the left-hand turn into pit road, and we are on the way. It's Raczynski with a good start. How about Jordan Wesley in that 22? Immediately to the inside of Shane James, makes the pass. Here comes Dylan Wilson looking to make that pass for 3rd. That's going to be a battle for position 3. That's where you want to be come the end of the race, because those are the 3 drivers that will transfer into the main event. Wilson now has to get out of the gas as James shut the door going into turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, Kyle out front right now, the single file a little bit, but he's got to hang on. Jordan is trying to do everything he can to kick that late model sideways. The battle's for 3rd spot right now as O'Shane James has got his hands full with Dylan as he looks on the inside, but he is trying to creep up there and take that 2nd place spot.
Yeah, Wesley made the pass on the opening lap, and now James is trying to return serve right now. A couple of laps later, it's going to be 3 laps complete for your race leader of Kyle Raczynski. Wesley in 2nd, James in 3rd by half a car length. You go back to about a car and a half length back to Dylan Wilson, who timed 3rd quick tonight, but at the moment he's 1 spot out of a transfer. And if this continues on this race as he hits the wall coming off 2, if he continues to finish here in 4th, he's going to have to come through the B main.
Yes, he is, and right now, the man out front, Kyle, he has got a good lead. He is looking in his rearview mirror and loving what he sees, because the 3 machines back there, the 22 of Jordan, the 32 there, Shane James, and the Dylan Wilson in the 80, which right now is on the inside. They are bumping and grinding, knocking each other's fenders off as they go around the turn coming out of it.
Yeah, halfway home, 5 down, 5 to go around here at the Knoxville Raceway for the Super Late Models. As it's going to be still your race leader of Kyle Richkinski in the 00, Jordan Wesley in car 22 sitting in second, and the 32 of Shane James. And doesn't look like there's going to be much passing going on unless one of these drivers make a big mistake and get that inside berm to where that car will just shoot up the racetrack and get very tight on them.
Well, right now, Dylan is the man who is trying to get on that spot in the third place. He is doing everything he can. The 32 is hugging that bottom line down there, and if he gets up on that bump, he could upset these cars as they're staying off the cushion up top and trying to stay in the middle of the track. Very good groove. They made contact. The 32 is around.
Yeah, Dylan Wilson will not be happy with what happened just there. You see, he just kind of put himself into the wall just to make sure that he was at the back of the bus. But I tell you what, the big win out of that one was the 421 of Britton Roxbury. He was just minding his own business in 5th place, and he's now in 3rd. As we have a battle for the race lead coming up here, as Jordan Wesley now, the white flag is going to be displayed this time for Kyle Richkinski. Wesley makes a huge mistake coming off turn number 4, but thankfully he's got quite a bit of space back to that 3rd place car, and half a lap to go. It should be the 00 of Kyle Richkinski picking up heat race number 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, the benefactor right there was Britton, who actually he got benefit with the 421 when the two got together, the 80 machine, and I believe it was Sean James back there, 32, and the 80. Yeah, they got together earlier on, and it's definitely was catastrophe. So the 421, he's going to advance, and he's loving it.
Yeah, that's the first heat race that we've had actually casualties not finish that one. But Kyle Richkinski comes home with the win. Shane James was not second. It was Jordan Wesley, Britton Roxbury, Greg Perkins, Lee Fetchenheimer, Matthew Jordan was your 6th car to finish. And you got Shane James, Dylan Wilson, and John Litter as we get set for the 4th and final heat race of the night. It's going to be Randall Carter in car number 37 starting on the pole to his outside. 313 of Greg Thompson. Mark Mullen in car number 97 starts out of position at number 3, and Zach Brown's in the 28 starts position 4. Dylan Wagner in car number 96 starts out of position number 5. Aaron Pauley in car number 83 starts out of position 6. Nathan Painter in car 21 starts out of position 7. Ben Satterley starts out of position 8, and Dustin Sizemore starts out of position number 9.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got 9 machines here, and heat number 4 here tonight. I'm getting these guys set up here to get ready to go. Dirt track race in Knoxville. It has been non-stop action here all night long. Loving this style stuff. Hope everybody out there in the chat world here is watching us at home, because we're live here tonight via teamvlr.com on the Facebook page, and it's been a good one so far at Knoxville with a late model series.
Right, they come past the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, past the Brian Clausen Sweep Tower, down the back straightaway. The final heat race of the preseason hit out for the super late models. As we get set, Randall Carter on the front row, 10 on the board, and Thompson out of position at number 2. We'll have to keep an eye on the 28 of Zach Rouse. He was the fastest car out of these guys as we are set to launch, and we are down and underway, down into turn number 1 and 2. Molnar, it's a little sideways on the inside of Greg Thompson. Zach Rounds is kind of waiting in behind and has to be patient in this opening couple of laps. Now he's going to look to the inside of Thompson into turn number 3 and 4. That's your battle for the transfer spot.
Yes, it is. Right now, Randall Carter out front. He's got Mark right there sitting in second, but the battle's right here for 3rd and 4th spot as the 313 machine of Greg takes it high and wide, and that's going to leave an opening there for the 21 of Nathan, who is almost going to try to drive that machine as they hit the inside curb a little bit.
Yeah, you never want to hit that inside curve. It will unsettle the race car big time. Painter gets the wall, but the battle on for the race lead. Mulder to the inside, 3 wide. Here comes Rounds from 3rd to 1st. If you don't mind, in one corner. What a drive from the 28.
You know, the leader right there, Randall, he went up and hit the wall, touched it just a little bit, let the opening up for Zach, and Zach, man, he ran right through the door and kicked it open and said, I'll take the lead, thank you very much, and they did. Like you said, was 3 wide. Now they're spread out. You got Zach up front leading this one, the Randall Carter in 2nd, and Mark sitting right there in the 3rd place spot.
A very patient drive and a very calculated move from the 28 of Zach Rounds. He completes lap number 4, so 4 down and 6 laps left to run here around the Knoxville Raceway. Randall Carter comfortable in position number 2, along with the 97 of Mark Molnar in 3rd. Those 3 drivers looking to advance to the, I think it's a 50 lapper later on tonight, as it's going to be Greg Thompson in the 313, who started on the front row and got a little bit sideways on the opening turn, but he sits there in 4th as he tries to catch the 97, but it doesn't look like he's catching anything at the moment other than a cold. Aaron Pauly to the inside of Nathan Painter in turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, the battle right now, the best one on the track's got to be right there in the 5th and 6th place spots. You got Nathan and Aaron right here. And we just got confirmation out there. I think that's Howard that's giving us an update. This will be the final heat race before the consolations, and then we head off into the A main, Brett.
Yeah, so it's pretty sure it's a 50 lapper here. Might even be a 75 lapper. I'm definitely confirmation
Not
from
sure.
the OSRN. Yeah, but anyhow, it's going to be a long race, that's for sure. Now, I tell you, Aaron Pauly in that 83, the black and purple machine. I tell you, that's a nice looking ride. He's still trying to work to the inside of Nathan Painter, but he hits the inside curve, and that's going to unsettle the race car. He's going to lose a bit of ground, but Painter, he's going to hit the wall. And now we got 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. These guys still, man, will not give up on each other back here in the back for the actual, that would be for the 6th and 7th spot, I believe it is. They're actually 5th and 6th, excuse me. As it looks like the 83 did a slide job. Beautifully done. Went up there in the front of the number 21 machine. Like you said, in the purple powered Aaron out there in the 83. He got a good move on the 21 and Nathan. And they're going to settle that. It looks like Zach's going to bring this thing home here tonight for this heat here. As that concludes it, Randall's in 2nd. Mark's going to bring it home in 3rd.
Yeah, 4th will go to Greg Thompson. So he's going to be locked inside of a B main. And then we've also got Aaron Pauly, Nathan Painter, Dylan Wagner. As of course that just would do that to me. And Dustin Sizemore and Ben Saddle as we get set for the C main. 13 cars scheduled to be in this one. The top 4 will advance into the back of the B main. And, well, if you're inside of a C main, you've got the alphabet soup to come because you've only got 8 laps to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be just like the rest of us and you're going to have to watch.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Right here, C main, and the action tonight. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. It has been fast and furious here at Team VLR as these guys are putting on an awesome show in the late models. It's just a preseason, a prelude to what you're going to see for the next 12 weeks at the accelerated site here, brought to you by VLR and a host of other. Let me bring that up before we get started. A host of other sponsors out there. You can get a kind of wind of what they are because, well, Brett, there's a whole list of them out there.
Yeah, look, it certainly wouldn't be possible without all these sponsors that are up on the screen. And look, we thank them all for coming on board here at Team VLR. But how about we go through the grid for tonight's C main? And this is quite a stacked C main with some of the drivers. The 77 of Josh Ray starts out of position number 1. The 4 of Justin Norwood starts out of position number 2. The 32 of Shane James out of position number 3. The number 96, Dylan Wagner, starts out of position 4. The 27 of Ryan Martin inside row number 3 to his outside. The 56 of Mike Molnar. Qualified 3rd quick tonight, Dylan Wilson in car number 8. He starts out of position number 7. The 35 of Dustin Sizemore to his outside in row number 4. Inside row number 5, the 78 of Chris Orencia to his outside, the 62, Zach Jenkins. Out of position 11, it's going to be the 68 of John Little. Ben Satterley starts out of position 12, and Devin Borden starts out of position number 13. And with just 8 laps on the board, the top 4 going to the back of the B main, and then it's only a short B main with 10 laps on the board. We go down the back straight away. Joe, I'll let you bring us to the green flag. C main, top 4 on the board, top 4 to transfer.
All right, top 4, like you heard it from Brett right there. Vance here at Knoxville Speedway, 11 laps for these boys to get it done. And you see that number 77 machine, Josh, he's going to bring them to the line. Pace trucks in, here we go. Hammer down, they kick up some dirt and a hard styles. The 77 of Jacobs gets a good run out front. Excuse me, Josh, my bad. Out front right there as they are 3 and 4 wide in the back of the 80, and they got contact and a wreck going on.
Yeah, Chris Orencia in the 78. Dustin Sizemore as well. They're going to have contact going into 3 and 4. Wow, the 27. Ryan Martin, he makes a huge mistake. He's going to fall back to about 7th on the racetrack. But my eyes are going to be firmly peeled on that 80. He's one spot out of the transfer. Qualified good. He just had bad luck in the heat race where he actually turned Shane James. And right now, the 80 of Dylan Wilson sitting in position number 5 as he's only got 6 laps to do. Meanwhile, Shane James battling for the race lead with Josh Ray.
Yep, Shane James, you're right. He is trying to get that lead spot away from Josh up there. He is looking on the inside. Can he get it done? He's got heat, though, from Justin Norwood in that 3rd place spot. You're talking about the transfer spot right now. Dylan is closing in. Well, we got a Dylan and Dylan show out here right now.
Double D. Dylan. Actually, 2 DWs right now. Dylan Wagner and Dylan Wilson now. They're side by side. Wagner on the outside, Wilson on the inside, up the line, given to Wagner. Wilson, slight contact there. That's going to put the 96 of Dylan Wagner quite a fair way back now as he goes down the back straightaway. And he's probably a good 6 or 7 car lengths as he's now 1 spot. And he's going to look like he's going to be watching from the grandstands like the rest of them. What about Justin Norwood and Shane James? Riding in 2nd or 3rd, but I'm impressed here with the 77 of Josh Ray. Yes, he started up front, but man, he's holding off some stout competition, that's for sure.
No doubt about it, holding his own up front there in that 77 machine and doing it with fine fashion with 5 to go here in this actual C main here that we've got going on, the consolation. But look at that 80 of Dylan. Hey, he made it headways up there and got to the 4th spot. He's not finished yet. He says, I want more before this thing's over with.
Yeah, this is going to be tough as your top 4 are nose to tail right now. The white flag is out into that C main. Wilson looking at the inside of Norwood in turn 1 and 2. Norwood's going to have it coming off turn number 2. And there's a little slight contact there. Wow, Norwood shut the door on Wilson, and Wilson had to jam on the brakes. But how about Josh Ray, the 77, getting the job done? And Shane James of the Team Friday HRE Motorsports, number 32. Right home in 2nd, Justin Norwood and Dylan Wilson. Your 4 cars that will start position 13, 14, 15, and 16 in tonight's B main. And well, no rest for those drivers as they're going to get straight into a 10-lap B main.
Yep, actually 13-lap B main.
No, it shouldn't.
It says 13 to go up there. That's what it says.
Yeah, but by the time they drive around twice and get the green, it'll be 10 laps and top 12 out of this one. So, I mean, there's only 4 drivers that are going to miss out from this one. But we'll go through the grid quickly here. The 55 is Stephen Spees on the pole. Corey Zatinsky, car number 3, starts out of position number 2. The 34 of Greg Perkins out of position number 3. Out of position 4, 313 of Greg Thompson. 26 of Drew Hirschko starts out of position number 5. Brandon Little to his outside, car number 9. Out of position number 6. Lee Fetchenheimer in the 57 out of 7. The 8 of Aaron Pauly in car number 83. Daniel Dow, car number 23, starts out of position number 9. Josh Nelson in car number 11 starts out of position number 10. Matthew Jordan and Nathan Painter start in row 6, that is position 11 and 12. And then you got our C-main transfers, the 77 of Josh Ray, the 32 of Shane James, the 4 of Justin Norwood, and the 80 of Dylan Wilson. And with 12 cars to transfer, those C-main drivers have certainly got a good chance at tagging the back of tonight's main event. Yes,
they do, and it's been a very, very interesting night so far tonight as these guys, they put on a tremendous show, and like what they just said, the C main is insanely tough. Well, it's about to get even tougher here in the B main and heading up into the feature here tonight as, like you said, the top 12 in this one, they advance as the pace truck's going to send them off here at Knoxville, and the man up front right there, he is going to do everything in his power to hang on to this top spot. And I know there's guys in the back. Josh Ray in that 77, he's got a shot to advance over here to the next, advance to the feature.
Green. We are underway here. 10 laps on the board. B-main and Speeds with a great start. The 34 of Greg Perkins puts a big slider on Corey Zatinsky as they go into 1 and 2. They are 3 wide mid-pack right now. They are fighting it out. Yes, they're all in a transfer. The 32 of Shane James. He is making these boys look a little silly right now. He's up to about position number 8. We'll see when he comes across the line. And wow, correction, position number 8.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, right now it is a hornet's nest. The 77's around. That's Josh Ray. He just got took around there and took out in the inside. But these guys right now trading paint left and right as they go side by side in the turn, and they're kicking up a lot of mud here at Knoxville already. It is a storm of a hornet's nest back here in the back.
Yeah, they might have just settled down a bit. Yes, they want to go. They're already inside of a transfer spot, but I tell you, the further up they get, the closer they get to the front of the field in tonight's main event. So it's the winner will start out of position number 13. Your 12th place car will start out of position number 4. So, I mean, they're racing for quite a few spots in a couple of rows right now. As how about the 26 of Drew Hirschko? He takes a slider on Greg Thompson in 3 and 4. Now he's going to take over that 4th spot on the racetrack. But here comes Thompson. Back to the inside, the 23 of Daniel Dowell looking in behind him, and he's got Shane James and Dylan Wilson towing along into turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, good battle right there for 4th, 5th, and 6th place spot, respectively, as you just saw it. Old Drew in the 26 machine, the 313 there. Greg, he went up right up under him, but behind them, Daniel Dowell, he's right there holding his own, but Shane James behind him, in the 32 machine, he's trying to look to get more. Here comes the 80, though, of Dylan. We saw him earlier here and a couple heats earlier on. He's got a bad, fast hot rod out here tonight and definitely getting it done here on the dirt.
Yeah, I tell you, he's got a bad fast hot rod. Is the 55 of Stephen Spees. He completes lap number 6, make that lap 7. So 3 laps left to run. The 55 is out in front, and he is just gone. He is hauling 855 right now, but the battle is still around that 6th and 7th spot on the racetrack between Daniel Dow and Dylan Wilson. Wilson having a bit of trouble getting around the 23. Oh, where's Shane James? Shane James has actually fallen back to 8, so he must have made a mistake. As Wilson now to the inside of Daniel Dow down the main straightaway. Slide job. Dow gets out of the gas to save any contact. He knows he's in a transfer spot right now. He doesn't have to do anything silly.
No, he don't, but that was a daring move right there, Brett. He went in there and took that thing 3 wide, almost completed the pass on 2 drivers there. He did get transferred up to the 6th place spot. He's looking for more, almost a textbook style or a copy of what he did in the other heat, as we've got 3 to go.
Should be the checkered flag.
Yeah, my ticker up there saying 2 to go. I don't know why my ticker's saying 2, but yeah, checkered flag's out. That's kind of crazy.
We're gonna blame Weaver on that one just because we can. Stephen Spees picks up the win. Greg Perkins comes home in 2nd, 3rd. Corey Zatinsky, Greg Thompson, Drew Hirschko rounding out your top 5. Dylan Wilson from 16th up to position number 6. So moving up 10 spots in that B main after coming from the C main. Daniel Dow, Shane James, Lee Fetchenheimer, Justin Norwood rounds out your top 10, Brandon Little, and Joshua Nelter, the 12 cars to transfer into the back of tonight's feature. It'll be Josh Ray, Matthew Jordan, Aaron Pauly, and Nathan Painter, all missing out on that one as we're getting set for the A-Main here in just a couple of moments.
I want to tell you what that's going to let us do here for a few seconds. Maybe we can bring up a driver and get a talk in with him right fast. As man, it has just been fast and furious from the point on. And folks, like I say, it's preseason, so we're going to get all the bugs worked out and everything, like what Brett just said. I'm going to blame Howard on that. That's why I told you it was 13 to go. I was looking at it on that end, Brett. I was thinking, well, we had 13 laps.
So, yeah, like if something fails, just blame Weaver. I mean, everybody else does. So
yeah, Weaver's fault.
Yeah, hashtag Weaver's fault.
Well, let's see who's up in here we can talk to.
I normally give him a bit of crap, and I used a couple of hashtags last season, but we'll switch away from that one, and it's going to be hashtag Weaver's fault, so we'll get that in chat if we can, guys.
That's right, hashtag Weaver's fault. There you go. Get that started, man. We'll get that thing, man, going. What they call? Well, it's not viral, but it's I guess it would be viral. What would that be saying? I call it tweeter, but what would it be called on Twitter?
Twitter, hashtag Weaver's fault. I don't think it's going to trend worldwide, but
yeah, trending. That's it.
We'll get it trending in the chat if we can. I think we're actually going to switch over to a new server so we can actually get the full 50 lapper in. I think it's 50 or 75 lapper in, but Man, tell you what, watching these heat races with the VR headset on, man, it's actually quite nice to do.
All right, so we're going to switch over to a different server here. I guess that means we need to switch over to one, don't we?
I think we was just talking to a couple of guys in there, so you can settle it up in about 3 or 4 minutes. He's just got to get everything sorted out, make sure everything is right. So.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home.
All right, folks, hey, just bear with us right here. We're getting this thing set up here, getting everything set up for the feature here tonight. Myself up here in the booth with Brett. So sit back, relax, get your refreshments, enjoy this show here as these boys are about to put on a good show. I think it'll be 50 to 60 laps here, future. We're getting the server set up right now, so we'll be back after this.
I'm so tired.
All right, race fans, we're back here live Knoxville here, warming these bad boys up here in the late models, and it has been exciting racing so far for the VLR, our accelerated series here, preseason style thunder for the late models in the dirt at Knoxville Raceway. Well, this is the feature. We got about 60 laps, and it's going to be pure mayhem as these guys are going to try to beat each other's doors down to try to win it tonight. Oh, Brett, what do you think we're going to see in this one?
2 3-wide racing slide jobs. I think the bottom lane, although yes, it might just look a little bit tacky right now. Just looking at the conditions, we're a little bit more overcast, especially over towards the corner 1 and 2. You know, it's not looking all that great. So hopefully the virtual rain clouds will stay away, and we should be able to get this this feature race in. It's got about a low usage at 26%. So at the moment, these drivers are out there ripping that track up, and you know, with just 2 minutes left here in warm-up, we're going to get set for a 68 main event. And I tell you what, these 850 odd horsepower super late models, they are just wicked. And you know, expect to see some good side-by-side racing.
You know, that's what we're seeing right now here in the warm-up practices. These guys have been very competitive out here right now. And through the whole entire heat, so it has just been non-stop action-packed right there, punch yourself in the face style racing here at Knoxville. Love every minute of it. These guys definitely got some nerves of steel to put the, like you said, these 800-some horsepower monsters that may take them in there sideways into the turn.
Yeah, we're just looking at the times at the moment, you know, with the drivers that have taken a lap, you know, around the Knoxville here in warm-up. Dylan Wilson, now he come from the C main, transferred in through to the back of the B main, then worked his way up. So he's probably going to start around 15th or 16th. I'm sort of guessing in tonight's main event, and you know he's sitting second quick, you know, by about half a tenth, or just less than half a tenth. That number 80 machine, he had a good qualifying effort. He actually turned Shane James in his heat race, so he didn't actually want to transfer that way. So he's had to, you know, he's really had to race himself into tonight's main event, and I think that 80, you know, may just be able to snag a top 5.
You know, and he has been dominant through the whole entire series here in the heats, and he got up there in one of the consolation races and definitely did some awesome things. Muscled his way to the 4th place spot to transfer here to the main event tonight, and he's looking good. Like I say, that's the 80 of Dylan Wilson out there. So keep an eye on him going through this field. He definitely knows how to get through this stuff. Interesting to see a lot of these guys, but boy, it is a who's who of VLR madness here, and iracing.com dirt street maniacs out here tonight as we look through some of these names. And obviously we already know David Heileman. They call him the Heilemaniac out there. And, you know, just to name a couple of the others, you probably know a few of these other guys out here, don't you, Brett?
Yeah, pretty much nearly all of them. I mean, you know, you look at the like of Shane James and Howard Weaver, they're always, you know, always finding themselves next to each other. I mean, they're 1/1000th of a second separated their time, but I think we're going to have our starting grid here in just a moment.
Absolutely. These boys, men, are going into the race as they'll get out here and they will start it up here tonight. Boy, I tell you, it's just going to be an awesome one so far.
We got the overlay working correctly?
No, well, you know what's happening here, Brett, is actually it is not showing. Oh, not wanting to show the list of drivers when it flipped to the next thing here on me. That's what I'm trying to work on right now.
Okay, I think I know what you have to do. You might have to
shut it down.
To reload.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reload.
Just reload the theme. So how about I go through the grid and we can get the grid up on screen. So Jason George in car number 16 will start the main event from the pole position. The 07 of Howard Weaver starts out of position number 2. The 00 of Kyle Rachinsky starts out of position number 3. Alongside him, the 28 of Zach Rounds. The 007 Jacob Field starts out of position number 5. The 19 of Garrett Nieberge starts out of position at number 6. Out of position number 7, it's going to be the 20 of Jordan Wesley until he's outside the 37. Randall Carter starts out of position at number 8. David Heilemann in Calibrate starts out of position number 9. The 22, Kendall Tucker, out of position at number 10. The 421, Britton Roxbury, starts out of position number 11 to his outside. The 97 of Mark Molnar. Stephen Speed inside row number 7. Greg Perkins to the outside in car number 4. Greg Thompson out of position number 15. Drew Hirschko out of position number 16. Dylan Wilson out of position 17, 18. In car number 21, it's Daniel Dowell. Shane James out of position 19. Justin Norwood, the 23, out of position number 20. Brandon Little and Joshua Nelter is our 22 starters for tonight's main event, and 60 laps on the board. And Joe, this is all your race to start.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, we're going to have to kind of do this one maybe blind here tonight because for some reason here on iRacing, it is just not letting me bring up here on the ATVO side of things. But that's all right. We're going green flag racing out here as these boys take off and storm to life as they come to it up front. The number 16 machine, he is out there. Wait a minute. Now it finally decides it wants to take off. Wow, okay. Got a mind of its own, Brett. Sorry about that, folks.
Just ATV things. We got a caution on the racetrack. As it looks like, I'm just trying to have a look here. Not sure who actually got turned around. Just trying to see who actually had damage and whatnot, but I can't see any cars.
Jordan, I think, was one of them. It's really, oh, there it is, the 21 machine. Daniel Dow. He got involved back there. Let's go back on the replay here. Yeah, there was a slew of machines back there in the back. Him and the, not sure, the other car, they got into him, man, but the guy made contact up into the wall. Daniel Dow, the 21 machine, made contact with another machine back there.
Just having a look at my own little replay here. It looks like the 313 of Greg Thompson was involved in that one as well. So that's going to be Daniel Dow to pit road, and well, as a pit reporter would say, what else is there to do? But they come down pit road, the crew gets that car fixed. He will come back out onto the racetrack, and he's going to have not a fresh car, but sort of beaten and bruised car, but hopefully a good enough car to circulate around the Knoxville Raceway.
Absolutely there. So at least we know now what the how the ticker's going to act here on ATVO for that one. I guess it don't activate if we switch servers until they actually cross that line. That's what it did on me here. So I apologize, folks out there. With a little, like I say, it's a good thing we got the preseason here. Get all the bugs and jitters out of it. Figure out everything before we get to the main stuff going on. As Howard Weaver's up front there, along with Jason George. Saw those guys battling it out earlier on tonight.
Yeah, Weaver actually picking up a heat win tonight, along with Zach Rounds and also Kyle Rachinsky and Jacob Fields as well. So Jason George, the lights are out on the pace truck. The pace truck takes left-hand turn. It goes on to pit road, and Jason George gets us back underway. We are green here at Knoxville, and George leads us into 1 and 2 on the low side of the racetrack. Here comes Weaver to the outside. 4 wheels in the moisture right now, trying to get that grip as he goes to the high side in turns 3 and 4.
Yes, they are. They are 4 wide coming out of the turn, folks. If you wanted action-packed style racing, you're about to see it right here. 3 wide in the back, 2 wide up front. Caution is out.
Just trying to have a look and see which cars may have been involved in that one.
9 machine, Brandon Little back here in the back. Looks like he caught the inside curb. Might have had a little help. He got turned. They were back there beating and banging on each other. And that's the 9. Yeah, just got a little help by the 21 and just got turned around. Caution flew on that end.
All right, so Brandon Little in that blue and white with the fluoro yellow rims on that race car. And just having a look at that replay, it looks a little laggy. It looks like the car just snapped like left on him right there. Like he went to get on the inside of Shane James, but it just looked like he just, the car just got real loose in the slick stuff and it just snapped that car around.
Absolutely. Yes, it was some good racing out there, Gerald. I'm going to tell you what, these guys all night long has put on tremendous style racing here. You're looking at some of the best here at iRacing.com Dirt has to offer. If you want to come out here and race with some of these guys, better bring more than your A game to it, because they definitely will show you how to get it done out here. And if not, they're going to kick some mud up in your face and leave you kind of dirty before you leave this track.
Leave you kind of dirty by the time you get onto the racetrack. So Jason George still your race leader. So we've had 2 cautions in the opening 7 laps complete. So we're probably only sort of 1 or 2 laps completed realistically as we got to 60 laps on the board. And we are coming up to lap number 9 as we complete 8 laps this time by Jason George. Car number 16 leads us back underway, and Weaver goes with him this time, and it's a good launch from your front row. We'll see what Weaver can do into turn number 1 and 2. George sticking to the low side in 1 and 2. Weaver to the outside, side by side down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. An awesome drag race for your front spot.
Yes, it is, as Jason's holding his own on the low side right there, but Howard Weaver's trying to take that high line and make it work. He has got pressure, though, from the 28 machine, Zach, who's looking on the inside, going to try to take that spot from him. Man, it is a slew of machines as they go in there sideways into the turn.
Yeah, that all the way 7 of Jacob Fields right in behind Zach Rounds in that 3rd spot on the racetrack. Weaver ducks to the low side, trying to run through the slick, trying to follow Jason George. Tell you what, George, a great job so far in the opening couple of laps right now to hold off if one of the best, if not the best, super late model drivers around in the world here on iRacing. As Weaver in 2nd, Rounds 3rd, Phillips. Then we go back to the double O of Kyle Rachinsky rounding out your top 5. Randall Carter, Mark Molnar, Garrett Newberry, Kendall Tucker, and a battle on for 10th, Britton Roxbury, and also the 20 of Jordan Wesley.
Well, I'll tell you what, David Heileman right there, he's in a mix, a slew of cars back in the 12th and 11th spot as they are back there knocking each other left and right. They are high and wide inside, 3 wide back there, mixing it up for the 12th, 11th, and around about the 10th place spot.
There is battles all over the racetrack now. I'm trying to keep an eye. The good thing I've got the VR headset on because you can look around and see where everything is going on at the moment. Side-by-side battle for 3rd right now. Hopefully go back up towards the front of that one. It's Fields on the inside of Rounds into 3 and 4. Weaver still trying to pressure Jason George, but here comes Fields to the inside of Rounds. Rounds has the momentum coming off turn number 4. And that's going to be 14 down and 46 to run.
Absolutely, 46, like Brett said, here to go at Knoxville, and the 28 almost stuffs it in the wall, going to leave the opening door open for the 007 machine. He's definitely got a spy machine out there, and right now he is showing his muscle, trying to get that low line going if he can take the 3rd spot. Battle for the lead, yellow flags out.
Yep, and I was right on this one. Kendall Tucker in the 22, and I think it was the 20 of Jordan Wesley as well involved. Those 2 drivers made contact on the front stretch car, and that was going to be Tucker in the 22 to get put around, and Daniel Down the 21 also got turned around after the yellow flag as well. So right on that one on the 22.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, yeah, you're right, and the 80 involved right there, and also quickly how the track closes up on you back there. You see a slew of machines, a 21 involved, like we was talking about, the 80 there, Dylan Wilson was talking about, watch him come through the field. It's just dangerous to be back there in a slew of machines going 2 and 3 wide, but under caution here again. Hey, these boys still are putting on a show here like no other.
And we're sitting on 2 to green for the moment as we're on lap 18, so it's complete. So we're almost going to be about 1/3 of the race distance complete by the time we go back to green flag racing. I think it'll be 41 laps to go. And I tell you what, that the battle for not only the top spot, but also the minor placings as well. That 3rd spot between Zach Rounds and also Jacob Fields. I almost called him Philip Fields, just said Philip Fields, another commentator that he used to work with. But Howard Weaver, Jason George, tell you what, he's very impressive tonight in the Super Late Model preseason here at Knoxville.
Absolutely is. Jason George holding his own up front as we're getting set to go back green flag. Howard Weaver's trying to give him all he can handle there, along with Zach Rounds and Jacob Fields out there. But Jason out front has definitely done a tremendous job in that 16 as the pace truck's coming around. Brett, it has just been nothing, but like you said before we went to the green flag, this is one of the greatest shows here on iRacing, and these boys out here are definitely putting it on here tonight.
Yeah, these super late model guys always put on a show. I tell you what, some of the best races I've seen are involved with super late models. Jason George getting set to go back to green flag racing. We're back underway. 19 laps complete and 41 remain. We go into 1 and 2. Weaver immediately back to the outside of Jason George. This time he's a lot closer, looking to get that momentum coming off turn number 2. Almost contact there between George and Weaver. But how about Fields on the outside? Rounds on the inside, and then Kyle Raczynski. He's stuck behind your 4 cars that are up front. He can't go there, but they are 2 by 2 at the moment.
Yes, they are 2 by 2 coming out of the turn, and contact made by the 00 back there, 007 machine of Jacobs, along with the 00 of Kyle. They made contact, single file up front right now. Jason George out front, Howard Weaver behind him, and Zach. But Howard says, hey, look, don't get too comfortable up there. I'm going to try to do what I can as he's trying to look everywhere. He's trying to use that high line, Brett. Hasn't worked to him. He's trying to look on the low line right now.
Yeah, the bottom is very fast at the moment. So Garrett Nieberge, one of the only drivers to actually try and make that top side work, as there was quite a bunch of them now actually on the top side, just as I say, so making me look like a little bit of a liar right now. But Garrett Nieberge back there in 9th, he's battling with Britton Roxbury, Stephen Spees, David Heilman as well, but right in front of him is the 97 of Mark Molnar and the 37 of Randall Carter. They're also side by side, so action aplenty now. Battle on for second right now, as here comes the 28 of Zach Rouse looking at the inside of Weaver as they go into turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, it is the 28 of Zach. He's trying to throw that thing in there sideways and put everything he's got into it as he looks on the inside. He says, just open the door a little bit there, Howard, and I will knock that thing down. He is doing everything he can. One small slip up by the 07 of Howard Weaver, and that number 28 of Zach will definitely put it there. We were talking about the battle in the back. Now, these guys definitely back here in about the 8th, 9th, and 10th spot. They are just on top of each other as they're contact. They're trading paint left and right.
And not only that, you go back to about 13th and 14th spot. Drew Hirschko battling with the 22 of Kendall Tucker as well. You know, these guys are nearly 3 wide there with Greg Thompson. I mean, I said it before, action aplenty 2 and 3 wide racing here at the Knoxville Raceway. Yes, it's essentially the sprint car capital of the world. But, man, these late models, they know how to put on a show right now. As Tucker, he's going to lose a spot to the 4 of Greg Perkins. As they go into 3 and 4, battle on for 5th at the moment. Mark Molnar looks to the inside of Kyle Raczynski.
Yeah, it is. Battle up front, battle in the middle. I've always said battle up front, battle in the middle, and a battle out back. All over the place here at these tracks. The 97 of Mark, he's on the inside. Boy, he jumped the curve right there to take that spot away from him, and that almost left the door open. The 00 there, Kyle, can't do quite anything because he's got pressure from the 37 of Randall Carter, who is on the inside at his door.
Trying to keep an eye on our top 4. They're pretty much spread out. Jason George, still your race leader. I tell you what, he's been very impressive. So, yes, I've said it a few times, but he has really opened my eyes up here as now Carter in the 37 on the inside of Raczynski now into 3 and 4. Raczynski shuts the door going into turn 3 and 4. Almost a battle coming up here for 3rd and 4th between Fields in that 007 and Zach Brown's in the 28. He's not quite close enough just to get him just yet.
No, he's not. And I tell you what, we're still watching some of the battle going on back here with Randall Carter. They're almost 3 wide. And you're talking about up there with Fields sitting in the 4th place spot. They're battling it out. They are 3 wide almost back here, Brett. Definitely getting it done as they are trying to use that slide job. Kind of getting up high a little bit, I've noticed. Moved out of the groove. Maybe trying to search around for the right kind of traction. A different line around this track to maybe get a pass on someone.
Yeah, the previous lap, Fields actually got underneath Zach Browns into 1 and 2. Now he's to the inside again in turns 1 and 2, but Browns just gathers up the momentum coming off the corners 2 and 4, and that's where he's able to get back around the 007. But man, I'll tell you, going on entry into the corner, that 007 is very, very fast. We complete lap number 33, and that'll give us 27 laps left to run. And wow, Jason George, he is just hauling 855 right now, 1.323 second lead over Howard Weaver. And just as I say that, it's now going to get put back says nothing because there is a yellow on the racetrack.
Yep, 23 of Justin Norwood. He spun back here in the back, actually started with the 22, and the 23 was just a casualty. No place to go, closed up on him, got turned around, but the 22, Kendall Tucker, spinning it, hitting the outside wall, tearing the front end of that machine all up. Now it looks like he went from a super late model to just a kind of a late model. Or modified. There we go, modified.
I was going to say, yeah, modified because
my bad.
the late models are the same. It's just
No, there you go. Yep.
But hey, you know what? I'll forgive you because you're an asphalt guy.
There you go. Absolutely. Hey, man, I tell you what, I appreciate it, real quick, Brett. Appreciate you, help me out up here and definitely give me the knowledge of what these dirts. I love this style racing. Obviously, I love my asphalt style stuff too, but I love the dirt. It's exciting to see what these guys, and it's amazing what they're able to do in these machines. I know it's a virtual world, but it is some of the best out here doing it out here on iracing.com, because this is the realest you get without stepping foot in probably, a couple $100,000 style monster machine out here and doing it in real life. And it's just, my hat's off to the skill it takes to sling one of these things sideways and hold on to it and stay in control.
Yeah, they are. They are certainly a different kettle of fish, but I tell you what, they're not a bad kettle of fish to drive with. And like I said earlier, asphalt's for getting to the racetrack, dirt's for racing.
I take it you don't like asphalt too much.
look, let's just. I'm gonna go on record right now and say I'm a dirt guy 100%. Okay?
Nothing wrong with that, man. I tell you got road guys, asphalt, oval guys, and you got dirt guys. And I tell you, tonight we got a lot of dirt being slung, and it's been exciting. Race trucks in, we're going green flag racing at Knoxville, and that man Jason George has been the top dog here all night long. But look at that 28 of Zach. He's on the inside of Howard Weaver and is going to try to take that second spot. Howard right now has got to be sweating it. Can he do anything? He's on the curb. He's got to hold on to that machine.
Yeah, we had pressure there from rounds. We got 22 to go in tonight's feature event. Yes, this is the preseason, the final preseason before the big three start, and they start on Sunday, February 18. But the sprint cars, as they return to the Knoxville Raceway, but we'll worry about that next week. As we got the super late models and now Fields. He's got pressure from the 97 of Mark Molnar looking to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Molnar in that white and blue and black number 97. Fields in the black, red and white 007 hanging on to 4th spot. Oh, wow, Jason George. He made a mistake. He caught that infield berm and that shot the car up to the high side of the racetrack. That's going to allow Weaver just to close that door just a little bit more. Rounds driving it in very deep into 1 and 2. But Weaver has the run coming off turn number 2, and Jason George, don't look now because that 07, he's just waited patiently so far in the opening 40-odd laps.
The 16, all it's going to take is one mistake up front before that Howard's going to stomp on it. But he still got pressure from Zach right there all over his back tailgate, and you got to go back there. Jacobs Fields and Mark, those two guys have been just beating up on each other as a battle for second. The 28, he looks on the inside. Howard Weaver's in the wall. Contact, that's going to hurt him just a little bit.
Here comes the 28 off Fields. They're going to rub panels coming off turn number 2. And Weaver just catches the outside wall. That's going to allow Jacob Fields to get on by. So Weaver back to position number 4. And you know well that Weaver is not going to like that one. Now he's going to have to pedal his backside off to get back up into the podium spot right now. But it is all Jason George as we're coming up on 16 laps to go.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, those guys won't be having dinner after this race, after a move like that. Put him up into the wall. Howard Weaver's trying everything to get back to that podium spot. He is all over the back end of the 007 machine of Jacob Fields. He looks to the inside. He's got to worry about marking that 97 machine, though, as right now, Jason George is still dominating this one out front. He's got about an 8/10 lead over that man in the 28 of Zach Rounds. As up front, Howard Weaver still trying to do everything. He's taking that high line around Knoxville.
He's been on the high side pretty much the entire time of this race, just waiting for it to come in, but it just has not come in at all. So we got 14 laps left to run. And no change to your top 4, even top 5, and Weaver while he is trying to drive the wheels off that race car. But as he's doing that, the 97 of Mark Molnar closing in on that 07. And now Weaver, he changes it up, goes to the bottom in turns 3 and 4, as he's going to have to make some aggressive moves to get back to your podium.
What I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you're watching this battle back here or not, Brett. It is actually heating up the 80 machine. They are 3 and 4 wide. They hit the curb back there and was just beating and banging. 3 wide to 80 of Dylan Wilson right there. Contact between the 8 machine and him. They are just back there slamming on each other, making it a demolition derby in the dirt.
Yeah, Rachinsky, Wilson, David Heileman. Now Drew Hirschko going to be involved in this little 4-car battle going on for about basically 9th up and through 12th, even 13th at the moment. Man, they are just absolutely all over the place right now still, as Wilson and Heileman have contact there. And it's going to be Wilson keeping in the 80 machine on the low side, sitting in 12th spot. Now remember, he come from the C main, so yeah, he's had to drive his backside off as well. They're almost on for second yet again between Fields and also the 28 of Zach Rounds. He's almost looking to the inside. Oh, yellow is out.
Yep.
And we're going to have about 5 laps left to run. And with this field getting stacked up like this, I mean, there's every chance that we are set for a grand finale.
Yes, we are. The 80 of Dylan Wilson right there just made contact slightly, looped it around, hit the outside wall, tried to get it back straight. Racing through the caution on us here, though. He's just not having the night here in the main event that he would like to have.
Yeah, just looking at the replay there, Heileman just tagged the back bumper of the 80 of Dylan Wilson. Then the 55 of Stephen Spees comes through and just kind of finishes off the job that Heileman started. So, I mean, it is what it is. But Terry Heileman, that's not the way he races. Maybe just misjudged the entry into that corner. But that 80 machine, he has done quite a few laps around the Knoxville Raceway here tonight.
You know, and it just looks like those guys back there were just beating and hammering on each other lap after lap, and that's what you got to do to make waves up here. It's so fast and furious here tonight. Like you said, when we get done, we're going to have probably about a 5-lap shootout here to go. So we're on lap 52 out here right now. As that pace truck's got the lights off, Brett, we're about to set here. It's going to be a showdown here at Knoxville.
The lights will turn off, so we'll go one more time around the Knoxville Raceway. And can Jason George in that 16, can he lead all the laps? We'll see Dylan Wilson speeding out of pit lane, and he will tag the back of the field as they get the restart. And he's going to have some momentum going into turn 3 and 4, that's for sure. But Jason George leads Zach Rounds, Fields in 3rd, and Weaver in 4th. Expect that 07 to go straight to the top side of the racetrack. It'll be 54 laps complete, 6 laps left to run. The final preseason hit out live here on the Accelerated as we're getting set to go back to green flag racing, and we are underway. Jason George gets a great start. Where's Zach Rounds going to go? He's going to go through the middle, through the slick, slide it up, but Jason George has the momentum, and he takes down the back straightaway, takes him down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Rounds almost gets into the back room. George makes a mistake. His second mistake of the race, and Rounds, he's going to go to the inside, not one side by side, but he's there, ready to pounce.
Nobody all race long has had anything for that number 16, Jason George, up front. But the 28 is putting the heat on here in the closing laps here at Knoxville. Yellow flag is out.
Oh no, 55 complete, make that 56 complete. 3 laps, that'll be 59. We are going to have a 1-lap shootout.
The 313. Oh man, he took a ride back in the back there, Brett. The 313 machine, that's actually Greg Thompson. He actually tumbled that machine going down in the backstretch.
Actually, they've just been told to race it on out till the finish, so they're going to ignore this yellow flag and they're going to race it all the way till they get the checkered flag. As it's going to be with now 2 laps remain. Make that 3, sorry, as Jason George still your race leader from Rounds, Fields, and Weaver as they come past the pace car. Yes, it's invisible, or not invisible, yes, it's non-contactable, that's for sure, but hey, 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go here. They're racing this one out, folks. That's why you're seeing on the yellow flag that they're still running. The battles for second spot right now. The 28 of Zach Rounds. He's got his hands full with Jacob Fields as the white flag flies. That man, Jason George, has just dominated all race long. The battle for second is heating up.
Into 3 and 4 for the final time. Jason George picks up the win. Second will go to the 28 of Zach Rounds. Third is going to be Jacob Fields. Fourth will be Howard Weaver. You go back to Mark Molnar rounding out your top 5. I tell you what, I don't think the grid or the overlay will work because they raced it out. Then you'll find a couple of guys will get disqualified. But man, Jason George, car number 16, leads every lap since the drop of the green flag. And that's probably one of the most dominating drives I've ever seen in a VLR race. And I can tell you right now, that 16, he's going to be one happy camper inside of the cockpit of the race car.
Yes, he is. Jason George pulling this thing off here tonight. Don't see him up here so we can get a chat in with him. I hate that, man. We'd love to get a talk in with him here tonight. Brett, I tell you, man, this right here, oh, wow, from the first heat all the way here to the main tonight, electric. If this is what it's going to be like for the next 12 weeks, well, I'm going to get pumped up and excited.
I'll tell you what, if that didn't get your blood rolling, you haven't got a heart. I'll tell you what, it was just awesome from start to finish, the heat races, even the C, the B mains, and then obviously that 60-lap main event. Yeah, we've seen a couple of cautions, but I'll tell you what, the racing made up for it. And how about Jason George? I'm not sure if he's going to be racing in the league, but I tell you what, if he is, everybody, and I mean everybody else that is going to be running, will need to pick up their game because that 16 was just absolutely dominant here tonight.
Yep, he sure was. And folks, I tell you what, like I said, this thing will be brought to you live here starting next Tuesday night. It will kick off one of the big 3 series here and the super late models at a dirt track on Accelerated's Facebook page, brought to you live. VLR and myself here want to appreciate them letting me do this for OSRN here, bringing the coverage to you. And it was awesome. Brett, as always, man, I appreciate you coming up here in the booth. You taught me a lot about what went on out here, and it was just exciting to see what these guys did here, the slide jobs and just the way that they actually, I mean, the professionalism and the way they raced all night long.
Yeah, look, I appreciate you having me in the booth here. And as a commentator, you never stop learning. Whether it's about a racetrack, a race car as well, and even the race and the drivers as well. So, I'm just glad to be in the booth here. And tell you what, I'm excited for the big 3. Next season, obviously, I won't be able to do the late models, with yourself and also with VLR. But tell you what, I'll be calling the action for the sprint cars and the modifieds. And tell you what, all 3 of these series, they are going to have the best of the best when it comes to drivers here on the iRacing service. It is going to be a big 12 weeks starting this Sunday night.
Absolutely, this Sunday night. If you love what you saw tonight, definitely check it out starting Sunday and throughout the week here. For 12 weeks, it's going to be awesome. TeamVLR.com. For myself and Brett Wheeler here tonight, it was awesome here at Knoxville Speedway. And definitely these guys threw up some mud and kicked up some dirt out here tonight. And congratulations to that man, Jacob George, for pulling off the victory. And so everyone, hey, appreciate you tuning in and coming out. Everyone, have a good night.